Finding the right tire combination for a bike can take thousands of miles, and with different bikes, I like different tire combinations. But I use 3 criteria to come up with what I use. So let's get into it. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to my channel. As I mentioned in the beginning, finding the right tire combination can take thousands of miles, if not tens of thousands of miles, to get the tire combination that works perfectly for my type of riding. Now, I want to just set out right from the beginning, if you're one of those riders that has to match your front and rear tire together, brand-wise, model-wise, you may want to turn away now, because I don't do that, and there's some specific reasons for that. I have 3 criteria that I use when I'm looking at tires. And the first one is off-road traction. And if I'm being realistic with my riding, I'm only doing about 15 to 20% off-road. The rest of my riding is road riding. And I do a lot of that to get to places to do off-road riding. But my priority for traction is off-road. And I know that that means that I'm going to be going through tires a little bit faster because of the road mileage to get there. But if I find the right tire combination, then it'll be okay. My second criteria is longevity. I want to try to find a tire that's going to get me on the rear 4,000 to 5,000 miles of serviceable life. And then that can be really challenging, especially with higher horsepower bikes or something that's super knobby and you're doing a lot of road riding. It's going to wear it out. So on this bike, I am experimenting a little, and I'll talk about what I'm using right now. And then the third part of my criteria is I try to keep it budget oriented. I'm going through no less than 2, sometimes 3 rear tires in a year. And if they're costing $200, $250, that starts getting expensive. So I'm really trying to find the right tire combination. Now, let's get to what I'm going to use for now, and then once I get through the life of these tires, I'll let you know if this has been a real good combination for me. So far, I have close to 1,000 miles on the front and rear, doing a couple of sections of the Colorado Backcountry Discovery Route, and then I'm riding southern Colorado into New Mexico, which is, I don't know, I've been on the roads about 40 miles of off-road. Some of it's been a little bit muddy, wet roads. There's a cow and calf moose up here. They're on the road. I don't know if you'll be able to see them. They just dropped off. Whoa, that's super cool. But really, so far I've been really pleased. So let's look at each of those tires and where I'm at, what I've paid for those, and why I'm using them as my current tire configuration. Right now up front, I have the Bridgestone Battle Axe Adventure Cross AX41. That is a mouthful, but that is the tire I have up front. I really think this tire has performed well in the 19-inch size that I had on my KTM 390 Adventure, so I wanted to try it on the 21-inch. So far, I've been very pleased with it. However, I did notice some differences between the 19 and the 21. The 21-inch tire, the lugs are spaced closer together than they are on the 19. I'm not sure if that's going to make a difference in performance so far with riding sections 1 and 2, 2 being the alternate on the Colorado Backcountry Discovery Route, and then riding up here on the forest roads, some of them a little bit muddy. I really haven't had any issues. And one of the things I really like about the AX41 compared to other tires is I've not had this tire wash out on me. I've ran quite a few other front tires, and for whatever reason, especially the Chevron pattern tires, they wash out all the time. So I'm using this. We're going to see how long it goes. I've been able to get close to 8,000 miles on the 19-inch. I don't know if I'm going to get that. I'm already seeing quite a bit of wear on this tire. If I can get 5,000 or 6,000, I'll be totally happy, because traction is a premium and I want to make sure I've got good traction up front. Now, I think I will put a little image of what I paid for this tire. It's either 125 or 145. I don't remember exactly which, but I already had this tire in the garage. I was going to put it on my Tenere. I didn't, and just installed it on here. So, so far, very pleased. Now, one other note with this tire, It is one of the loudest tires I've ever used on the road. This thing just howls. So wear good earplugs and it'll make it worth it. So let's jump to the back. Finding the right rear tire for this bike was something that was a bit challenging for me. I was looking at a lot of different tires and looking at the prices as well. There was a few I was considering trying out. I was looking at maybe the Dunlop Trailmax Raid. I was also looking at the Anarchy Wilds. I haven't used those before, but I got a recommendation from Frank from One Old Man Riding to try the Mitas EOS 7 Plus. Now, I hate that front tire. I don't like Chevron front tires, so I knew I wasn't going to match that up, and I already had the AX41 up front. But I thought I would try this tire. I have not tried the EOS 7 Plus in the rear before, so I thought, you know what, why not? And as part of my criteria is, one, I'm off-road, I got to figure that out. I've seen good reviews. Frank recommended it. And then riding on Colorado Backcountry Discovery Route, some of it was muddy. It did slide on some off camber, but it was muddy. I don't know many tires would have held there. But overall, it seems like it's okay. It hooks up pretty well. It's actually kind of hard to get it to drift because it does hook up fairly well. Probably my riding as well. And then the last criteria is price. I found this tire on Amazon for $150 with free delivery. That is dirt cheap. As far as rear tires go, you cannot beat that. So as long as this tire holds up pretty well, I'm probably going to continue using it because of the price. And I'm going to be doing a trip where it's probably going to be around 3,000 to 4,000 miles. I already have 1,000 miles on it now, so we'll see if it hits that 4,000 to 5,000 mile mark like I've been wanting to get out of a tire, or one of my criteria. The other thing I know about this tire is I see a lot of people that are doing more overlanding, long distance travel. This is a very popular tire, and they run that thing all the way down to the wear bars, and it seems to work pretty well. Now, I will say it was pretty easy. I know the carcass on this is a little bit stiff, but using the Rabiconda, it was pretty easy. I think the crosspoke wheels are really easy to mount tires on using the Rabiconda and the wider duck head. I had no problems popping the tire off of the front and rear using the Rabiconda, and then getting them mounted back up was pretty simple. So anyway, based on my criteria, this tire is what I'm using now, and also on a recommendation. All right, because I get a lot of questions on what tires I'm using on my bikes, I wanted just to throw this together just to let you know that it's trial and error. It's what I'm using on my Aprilia Touareg 660 right now. The next set of tires might be something completely different depending on how these work out, the performance I get out of them, and the longevity, and then of course the price. So we'll just have to wait and see. So let me know if you are running a 2118 combo, what you're using, because it's a new combination for me. I've been riding on the 1917 for years. So now it's big wheels and different tires, and performance is going to be different as well. So far I like what I have here. That may change depending on the conditions that I ride in, but so far, at least in the mountains, it's worked great. I can't speak for what it's going to be like in really sandy conditions. It may be miserable, but who knows? Anyway, if you got to the end, thanks for watching. Remember, you can always make more money. You cannot make more time. So don't pass up on that ride. Get out, do some riding, ride safe, and I will see you out there. Finding the right rear, flies.